Hello everyone, it's nice to see you today. I got this idea over the weekend that I wanted to do like a distinct price range for a full face makeup look and stick to it. So I thought maybe we could keep a full face of makeup under $25. Even with the rising prices and everything, we see a lot of drugstore makeup getting more and more expensive, but I've found many favorites that are at the lowest level. And I thought, I bet I can put a face together that's under $25 and like it, okay, and like it. And it took some math and it took some crossing out and changing, but eventually I came to the right combination. I thought I had it and then I was 65 cents over and I was like, no, I will not accept that. So I didn't know if there was anywhere I could cut, and then you'll see when we get to it, I'll talk about it. But I found an even lower cost alternative to something I thought was just dirt cheap. But gang, it's only 8 products. Like it's gonna be minimal, but I feel like I'm still gonna really like it. Some of these things are gonna be products you've heard me talk about a lot. Case in point, the foundation pick. I chose my Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. Now you could go dewy or matte. This is the matte. I'm choosing it because it is my ultimate favorite. I have it in soft beige. I love the staying power of this product. It's very reliable. I think the coverage is pretty on the skin. It's surprisingly good, really. And I just swipe it on all over. Call this frosting the cake because you got your little spatula there. And then I'm just going to use my little e.l.f. complexion duo brush. Brushes are not factored into the total price of this face. Maybe someday I could try to do something like that, but I would have to raise the overall goal, you know, a little bit. But look how pretty this turns out on the skin. I just love it. And I've just got my skincare underneath and my sunscreen. Primer, not absolutely necessary. There are a few situations that you're going to find in this look where I've had to cut something that I just deemed not absolutely necessary to satisfy me for the overall look. This foundation never lets me down. Even though it's matte, it doesn't like look thick and heavy on the skin. I'd say it's giving a medium coverage and I absolutely love it. And then I want concealer. So I'm going to go to my Incognito concealer, also from Wet n Wild, and this is in the shade Light Beige. So this is just going to provide, it's a perfect shade because it will brighten, but it will also cover. And I know that I can use a little bit more of it than, say, e.l.f. Camo Concealer to get me to my most satisfied place with the skin. So a little extra swipe right in here and it's going to look fabulous. But this is a fun challenge when you think about what $25 can or can't buy you, you know, in this day and age. Thinking about what it costs for gas, you know, to fill up your tank. This would be a fraction of what it takes to fill up my van, you know. I love this brush because I can go back and forth between my little basically concealer size side and the full side. And the full side really makes quick work of blending this all out. But look how we've added to the coverage beautifully. And that's really the goal here. We want to go really low on the price, but I still want it to be something I love. For the powder, I put down Rimmel Stay Matte initially, and I didn't think I could find anything lower cost than that, but that ended up being the spot that was able to save me from that 65 cents over that I went for the total of the look. And there's actually a little powder from e.l.f. I've had this for a while. I've used this. It's called Prime and Stay Finishing Powder, and I just have it in the translucent fair light color, and this is actually only $2 as opposed to the $3.17 cost for Rimmel Stay Matte. This powder is fine. It'll get the job done. To be honest with you, I don't require that much of a powder when I've got these coverage products. I'm really pleased with what these do. I'm not ending up super sticky after applying all that, but I want a little bit of setting powder. Now, a little goes a long, long way. This is the opposite of the performance of Rimmel Stay Matte. You put your brush in, you get plenty. Rimmel, I always felt like you could put your brush in and it wouldn't seem like a ton is coming off on it, but yet it was all that I needed. You know, it really paced me. Here, I just have to watch it a little more, but it will absolutely get the job done for setting the under eye, setting the T-zone. If you want a little extra mattification, you know, it'll do that. Pressing it into the skin. I never really want to just dust powders willy-nilly like all over on top of the skin and not really make an effort, a deliberate effort to press them in. Because when I do that, I feel like everything looks more one with the skin and more natural. Some people might like to use a powder puff to do that, but I just use this little brush and I feel like, yeah, you know, it's $2, but it works. It does what I need powder to do, okay? Next up, I'm gonna want some bronzer. So I'm grabbing my Rimmel Natural Bronzer. This is in the shade Sun Bronze. You can get Sunlight if you want something a little bit softer, but this ends up amounting to $2.56. And all of this stuff, by the way, I stuck to Walmart for everything because Walmart has the lowest prices. And I know maybe there are other brands I could have bounced around to, like maybe thrown in a thing or two from Essence, but I just thought like it keeps it more convenient if somebody actually wanted to like take my recommendations and run with this. You know, it's all at one place and you don't have to bounce around. But overall, you pretty much always are going to find the lowest prices at Walmart, period, for makeup. So I love this little bronzer. There's absolutely like, you don't feel like you're sacrificing anything. It's one of the cheapest, but it's absolutely great. Just contouring the cheeks a little bit, and this is a matte bronzer, by the way. They used to make a color called Sun Dance. I don't know if they still do, but that one, I always remember that having a little bit of sheen to it. And in some places you may still find their mosaic bronzers as well that incorporate multiple tones, and those can be really nice also. As I was considering the face color products, I was thinking, you know, something's gonna have to be multitasking here. Something's gonna have to be a 2-in-1 or a 3-in-1. And I, of course, thought about my e.l.f. little bite-sized face palettes. These are $3 and you get a highlight and a blush. And one of my favorite ones for multitasking, which you're gonna see this kind of float back into the look for the eyes. One of the ones that can do that best, I think, is the Spiced Apple shade. The blush doesn't look quite so blushy, but it can work on the eyes beautifully as well. I think it was between 1 and 2 years ago, I actually focused an entire monochromatic look around this little duo. So yeah, it's called Spiced Apple, and you've got this kind of neutral looking blush, and the highlight really does glow and show on the skin as well. But this is pretty. These blushes, everything in this line is just really nicely pigmented. I love watermelon, I love pomegranate, but this one is so nice as well. Don't overlook the Spiced Apple. It's kind of like a deep, dusty peach. I probably enjoy these face duos more than the eye quads that they've made from the Bite Size line. I've just loved some of the combos so much. The quality has been so impeccable. So there we are with our Spiced Apple blush, loving it. And then we're going to use the highlights. The highlights all end up being, I feel, a little brighter than they appear in the pan with this line. But we're just going to take some of that right up here and let it come down to the top of the cheek, and look at that gorgeous glow on overall matte skin. Oh, love doing that. We can take some up to the temples. I love it, and still nothing really sacrificed. Now, a step that I could see as skippable would be a setting spray though. While I might like to use one on a daily basis, if I'm really trying to tamp down the price of what I'm using, I could go without. I also know that the products I'm using do stay really, really well without anything. Now, for a brow product, one of your most affordable options is going to be the e.l.f. Instant Lift. Probably more affordable than anything. $2 at Walmart. I wear the neutral brown shade, and it comes in at a thickness that's a little bit thicker than your super skinny pencils, but not as thick as some of those like shaped ones, you know, like the teardrop kind of triangular design a lot of brands are making. Think Wet n Wild retractable, or that Essence one I used real recently in a video. This ends up being a little slimmer than that, but it fills in the brows quickly. The texture is great. I've honestly raved on this years back, and the only reason why it might not get as much attention recently is just because I've been trying other things, you know, but it's a great product and about as cheap as it gets from the drugstore. See, look at that, perfectly filled in brow. Really easy, and like I said, not too thick, not too thin. A faster fill-in truly than your skinniest brow pencils, but a little easier to control than some of the thicker ones. And for some reason I was kind of thinking that these went up to $3, but Walmart has them listed at $2. Now, I'm not going to do any brow gel, okay? That would have been another, you know, $2-3, and we're not gonna do it. If you got some leftover hair gel from your look or some hairspray, dab that over if you really need it. But I'm gonna be content with these brows as is. Also, I would love to be using some Milani eyeshadow primer, but I know that I can kind of shortcut that cost. If I've really got to cut corners, I could dab a little bit of my concealer here on my hand, get a minimal amount on my finger, and just kind of rub that in as a little bit of an eye base. And it'll wear well still. Plus, you're neutralizing your eyelids too. The key here, if you've got to use concealer in this way, use as absolute little as possible. Next up, the return of the face duo. Again, I chose a shade here where I felt it could easily translate to the eyes. I love pomegranate and watermelon, but you're committing to a very pinky look on the eyes if you have to use that blush as eyeshadow. And here it's like, okay, I could see that working. Like I said, I've done this before. I'm picking up some of that spiced apple blush. And I'm just going to create a really nice soft crease here. And in the end, you know, it's just going to be a soft, natural shadow look. And I don't think I'll feel like I'm sacrificing much of anything. 8 products only, y'all. Just back and forth in the crease, getting a nice little bit of softness here. It is buildable. See, look at us building that. Yes. Just going to buff around the edge. Soften that a little bit right here. You'll notice I'm not blending over the whole thing, I'm just blending the edge. Next we're moving in with a flat brush, again with some of our matte shade. We're just going to lay a little bit of that down on the outer lid, and then we'll do the shimmery highlight on most of the rest of the lid. Right in here, this is so pretty. Even guys, if you're not a huge fan of a lot of shimmer, this is a classy little sheen on there. You know, it's not too much. If you want to build it up and you want to make it look like more, you know, go on with your finger, give it a little press and pat, but it does not end up being too like, whoa, metallic. But we're brightened and we're glowing, and the eyes do look like they've got something going on. Now here's an area where I'm going to get a little bit creative. I many times will skip eyeliner because I feel like mascara can do enough, and I feel like it can also maybe even show off the lashes better than when you do have a possibly too thick line going on. But we have a brow pencil here. It's nice and dark, and you know what you can do with that brow pencil? You can apply it as a little bit of some eyeliner if you want to. Now it does not give as hard of a line as most eyeliners would, but I can just add a little bit to maybe the outer part of my lash line and end up with just a little added depth there. Again, this does not apply like normal eyeliners would. It's much softer, but you can get a little extra. Can you see the difference between these two eyes at the outside? Neutral brown gives you a little bit of something. I'm sorry for the blondes who are using the really light pencil that this might not even be worth trying, but if you got a little darker pencil. See that? Just a little bit thicker lash line. All right, one of the cheapest mascaras you're gonna find at Walmart. It's under $5, $4.98 actually, and it's Wet n Wild's Big Papa. Maybelline Great Lash is also really cheap, but I just feel I have a moral obligation not to use that. See, I actually like this mascara, so this is good. I'm gonna curl up my lashes, and this is just gonna be a top lash look. Again, is this the most bold dramatic eye? Absolutely not. It's a very natural eye, but we're also under $25 for the entire look. I would love to hear in the comments section what parts of the face are non-negotiable for you. Like for me, I really wanted my base look very much in place with that foundation and concealer, and I also didn't want to leave out blush, bronzer, or highlight. I felt I needed a brow, I needed mascara, but I didn't absolutely need eyeshadow, and I didn't really need eyeliner. And as you can see, we brought in some other products to make that eye go. And here's our little kind of hourglass shaped brush, a little bit tapered toward the tip, and we're just gonna pop on that. And like I said, surprisingly good mascara. Best one from Wet n Wild for sure. There we are, just building it up. Uh-oh, I've gotten a little messy and got some smudges on my lid. Trying to go a little too aggressive with building the mascara. I'll let it dry and kind of flick those away. That usually works. But I feel like this is a nice uncomplicated look if you're a beginner. If you try to keep your looks just a little quicker, it works for folks who need that as well. And it's nice how with Wet n Wild, there is that option on the foundation. You know, you don't have to go matte. You can use the dewy. Both are really good. I think Bethany Frankel was on TikTok raving about the dewy. They're both really nice. I feel like the matte wears longer on me. Wears longer like looking the same. You seen the way that mascara is building up over there? Yes. If you can just let what's on your lashes get a little bit tacky and then add to it, it's like the perfect moment to build. Okay, so I got my little mess cleaned up there and lashes are done. And then for lips, we actually came in at under $1 for 98 cents with my Wet n Wild Black Orchid lipstick. I pick a shade like this because this has a range of options. You can wear it kind of light and blotted, as I've talked about in the past. You can wear it very full on. Today I'm actually going to do a lip brush application with it because I feel like that's going to give us like a nice middle of the road look with this deep lipstick. And frankly, I feel like we can handle a nice little statement lip along with the softer eye. It's such a pretty shade though, you guys. It's not quite as dark and deep as Revlon's Black Cherry, but it's just a gorgeous shade. And like I said, the most intense level you can wear it at is just applying it straight from the stick. And like I said, blotting over it is a great option for just a more casual look. But a lip brush really controls the application. And if you use a lip brush, you practically feel like you're using lip liner. You know, you've got that level of control at the outer edge. Lip liner without buying the lip liner. One last little bitty curl on that mascara very lightly will really keep those standing at attention all day. Some mascaras kind of need you to do that, some don't. But friends, this is my finished look and I am so happy with it. The grand total is $24.48 for this full face where I feel completely happy with everything. I feel finished, I feel pulled together, I feel like the skin looks great. The combination of those Wet n Wild coverage products and then that blush and highlight, so pretty. And I wonder if I can even work a little bit of this Prime and Stay the way I've been using my Kosas Cloud Set. Like I've been going in on the end of my looks with Cloud Set and going right over this area, right at the tail end. Yeah, it's a little smoothing. This can do it too. I am so pleased, you guys. 8 products, under 25 bucks. Thank you so much for your time today. Again, let's discuss what the non-negotiables are for you, because for me, I didn't want this to just be a look where, okay, I've thrown together the products that will get you under 25, but I don't love the look and I would never rewear this look. You know, with so many of these products, these are things I truly wear and love. And seeing them all together, this is absolutely 100% a look I would wear out to do darn near anything. But I feel like I can let go of eyeshadow, I can let go of eyeliner and be satisfied. You know, I maybe don't need a primer and a setting spray or a lip liner, even though those are things I love to use. If I'm really trying to tamp down that price, they're things I don't have to have. They're kind of like little extras. So thank you all so much. I love you and I will see you again soon. Bye.